Hello, friends. So, here I am again with a short story in English for a change because some of my friends who are not able to follow Marathi, my language. So, for these people, I would like to present one of my short story in English. It's a fiction, and the name of this story is Her Dream. A butterfly of the color of morning sunlight came in her room, lingered around the stark white walls, and hastily retreated back to the outside beautiful world. Rashmi was watching its flight, comparing herself with that golden speck of life. As the butterfly wandered outside, Rashmi felt a drowning despair growing deep inside her. How many days was she here? Or was that for months, years? Clumsily, she searched for her diary. The nurse had kept it on the far away corner. The efforts for reaching it brought sweat drops on Rashmi's forehead. Leaving the diary there, she fell back on her hospital bed. It seemed like yesterday when she was first admitted to this hospital. How fast the time flew by. Rashmi was a bright girl doing her second year of BSc when this all had happened. The college had organized a blood donation camp. Rashmi, being the class representative, was thoroughly involved in it. And indeed, she was thoroughly involved. The camp was a success. By the end of the day, she had lost the count of the number of students who came to donate blood. She was very much exhausted, but still very much excited too. She also had donated blood. The red frothy liquid being gathered in the bottle made her think about Ma's bright red bindi, the red hibiscus flowers gathered by grandma for her Lord Ganesh, and the big low volumes bound in and the big law volumes bound in red leather arranged so neatly in Daddy's study room. It also reminded her the Ghagra choli with beads and mirrors and all those bright colors she was longing for. After the camp, she came home and bored everyone with their details. How Ma had made her eat extra roti and lots of fruits to make up the donated blood. Daddy was sternly watching over his frame of the spectacles to see whether Rashmi finished that extra helping. Grandma even made her drink a glass of milk at bedtime. Oh, how Rashmi enjoyed the fuss. She really liked it. That nasty cut by one of the used needles was nothing in front of all this fuss. Everything was running so smoothly. Ma with her recipe books busy in kitchen or helping daddy to take down notes on the various court cases. Grandma busy with her conversation with so many gods and goddesses or tending her small garden. Daddy busy with his court cases and Rashmi engrossed in her practicals classes while basking in the love of her dear ones. Oh, everything was so rosy and beautiful. Till that day when Rashmi had a sudden attack of fever. First, they had taken it as an attack of flu. There was the usual fuss, the usual medicines, but the fever was very persistent. It kept on coming back like tides and ebbs, leaving Rashmi utterly exhausted. The family doctor referred her to a specialist to clear his doubts. There was a string of tests, visits to pathological labs, and checkups by a number of doctors. Rashmi was too tired. She just wanted to remain in her room. She was sick of the odor of those medicines, those visitors, and the same questions and answers and the sadness that seems to fill her entire house. That day, Daddy must have got the report, for he came home early. He locked herself he locked himself in his study for nearly an hour. Then he called Ma inside. When she came out, her eyes and nose were red and she hastily retreated to her domain, the kitchen. During dinner, Ma was very silent and Daddy was laughing and joking more than usual. That night, he came in Rashmi's room and patted her and tucked her in like a small baby. Then abruptly he got up from her bed and went out. Rashmi was wide awake, thinking about all these things that night. Now there was chaos in the regular routine. There were still new tests, visits to the hospital, and a long list of medicines. Ma was trying to look after the house, and at the same time, she was trying to maintain the timetable of Rashmi's medicines. Daddy was spending as much time with Rashmi as possible. Grandma was spending more and more time in her puja room. She was even neglecting her dear garden. Though nobody had told Rashmi about the cause of her sickness, she had started doubting it. Every small suffering had magnified itself. The colds, cough, even a small wound like scratching had become persistent. That day, the fever was again too high, and there were pains everywhere in her body. Rashmi was delirious. She imagined herself in her favorite ghagra choli, dancing and laughing amidst thousands of diyas lit around her. There was light, just the bright golden light of those diyas, those lamps, and that was being reflected many a times due to the mirrors on her dress. Those tiny flames flickering and dancing with her. Oh, she was so happy. Finally, at midnight, the fever decreased. She was drenched in sweat. Ma gently sponged her with cold water. Rashmi's fever burning eyes met Ma's gentle, tear filled eyes. Rashmi could see those tiny flames of lights in her Ma's eyes. Or was it a dream? With the warmth of those eyes engulfing her, Rashmi slept, holding mother's hand like a small child holding on to his precious possessions. She must have slept for hours, for when she woke up, she could smell the coffee in the kitchen and the fragrance of chameli mixed with that of chandan sticks in the puja room. Slowly, Rashmi got up and, holding on the walls for support, came to the dining table in the hall. Daddy was not there drinking his usual cup of coffee while reading the newspaper. It was still lying at the door. Picking it up, she slowly progressed to the kitchen. Daddy and Mom were sitting near the kitchen window, silently sipping the coffee. We must keep Rashmi in the hospital for the AIDS patients under observation. Daddy's words just drifted in the air, bounced off the walls, and then kept echoing inside Rashmi's brain. The doubt was clear. But why the wall she was holding on was swaying away? Her crashing down brought everybody running towards her. Rashmi just remembered being lifted and then she blanked out. That was the day when she was brought to this hospital for AIDS patients. Since then, the white cubicle had become her home. Now she was least bothered about the colors white, red, green. It didn't matter. All her colorful dresses were lying in her cupboard at home. Now even the people didn't matter. Her friends had stopped coming to meet her since they heard about her sickness. Rashmi's white world was a cocoon now, encircling herself and her family. Doctors had described her condition to her. Her immune system was slowly dying. No medicine was working. The painkillers given to stop the pain were making her drowsy. AIDS was leaving many visible marks on her body. Her once beautiful long hair, tended carefully and lovingly by Ma, was trimmed now. There were angry red blotches on her body. Day by day, there were new signs of the advance of the disease, pulling Rashmi into the deep vortex of despair and empty anger. Mom had tried in vain to talk her out of it. Daddy tried to take her for a picnic as they used to do before. Grandma had pleaded with her to accompany her to her guru. Everybody was showering her with love and care, but Rashmi had not even bothered to answer them. She had blocked her mind for all of them, their love and their world. She even had lost the count of the time. Only one thing was hammering in her mind. Why only me? She kept on wondering. Outside, the garden was full of blossoming plants. The gulmohar's canopy was proudly swinging its bright red petals. The azure skyline was dotted by the golden yellow of acacia. The golden butterfly came in her room again and settled on one of the medicine bottles. Gingerly, Rashmi stretched her hand towards it. It shifted its perch and grabbed her outstretched finger with its delicate legs. She kept on looking at it in awe, as if looking at the world for the first time. As the butterfly flew out, her gaze followed it. Suddenly, she saw the color of the sky, the red yellow petals. Now, the leaves also seemed so green, so shiny. She looked around herself. The white of the walls, her bed linen, her gown. It was not just white, but one of those colors now. She wondered from where those colors came. She looked at the colorful world with new vision. Then she realized that the colors were not lost, but she herself had lost the vision to look at them. Suddenly, she was inspired by that idea and wanted to fill her eyes with those colors. She wanted to feel the green grass with her bare feet. She wanted to gather the world in her arms for whatever days, hours, minutes were left in her life. She felt a dark, heavy cloud being lifted from her heart, her soul, and there was light, just the bright, pure light, and a sense of peace, just like the one she had felt in her dream. With that feeling, she got up from her bed and reached for the door, which opened in the garden. She felt very light and funny. Again, the golden butterfly came through the door with her red companion. They seemed to guide her outside. She laughed at her new companions and let out a sigh of pleasure and followed them outside with dancing steps. A lone figure, clad in white kurta pajama, was sitting below the gulmohar, that red flowers tree. He was bending down on his sketchbook, drawing something. The butterflies had already disappeared. Rashmi watched his curly hair being gently caressed by the wind. His fingers were dancing on the sketchbook, drawing a maze of lines and curves and strokes. That's me. And these are my images playing with life. It's like a mirage. No, not mirage. Like sand grains? Yes, that's correct. Sand grains. He was talking to himself. Who's he? Rashmi wondered. A doctor? A patient? She watched his long, shapely fingers, the broad forehead, that straight nose. Her gaze lingered on his lips and then on the slip of paper attached to his kurta. Sagar, it read. Oh, he is a patient here. That was the way a patient was known as. Oh, hello, Rashmi. Rashmi nearly jumped by his voice. Nice sketch. She tried to be casual, but she knew that her voice was trembling. Oh, yes, but you see, I have to improve here and here. He didn't show that he had noticed her fears. Rashmi felt like having hundreds of butterflies in her stomach. What's wrong with me? She wondered. It was getting hotter and hotter. Let's go inside, or we may catch a sunstroke. Sagar guided her inside the cool veranda of the hospital. His touch gave a tingling sensation to Rashmi, but he removed his hand immediately, and Rashmi caused herself for thinking such a stupid thought. Hey, it's just a first meeting, she reminded herself. Sagar was saying something. Rashmi was still lost in her thoughts. Hello, are you still there? Sagar called loudly, and Rashmi blushed suddenly. Sorry, I was lost. I didn't mean. She sounded like a young schoolgirl, babbling after she was caught red handed. You look so lovely and fresh, Sagar said, looking at her. Rashmi noticed his dark brown eyes for the first time. They are so sincere, she thought to herself. She believed his every word. There was something more in his eyes. She tried to put her fingers on that feeling. She tried very hard to figure it out. Suddenly, she saw a flicker of emotions in his eyes, just for a brief moment. She wanted to touch his eyes, his face. Then suddenly there was a change, as if a dark cloud shrouded him, his feelings. He thrust the sketchbook in her hands and turned away abruptly. She kept on staring at his back quite for a long time. She came in her room and flopped down on her bed heavily. What's wrong with me today? I saw a stranger, but he was so familiar. She again remembered. She again remembered his brief touch and gently put her lips over that area. Oh no, that's so stupid of me. Am I in love? She felt the burning tears in her eyes. No, that's not possible. That's not possible. It's a dream. It's a dream. She kept on telling herself. Then she felt the weight of the sketchbook. Absently, she started turning the pages. Images, the drawings were called. In most of the sketches, there was a human figure drifting towards the sun. Rashmi tried to understand the drawings. There was a feeling of darkness and a wish of escaping from the darkness in those drawings. She came to one of that he was sketching just now. It had the sun in the hourglass, drifting below as the sand grains, and two hands trying to catch the escaping sun. Yes, the days are drifting away as those sand grains, she thought wearily. Then she saw those lines below the sketch. I know you are there. I know you are there near the horizon somewhere. Together shall we catch? Together shall we catch and imprison the sun forever and ever? Yes, we will, Rashmi thought. She closed her eyes and saw those thousands of dancing lights around her. She had worn her favorite ghagra choli. Her pains were suddenly forgotten. He had held her hands firmly. She saw those eyes full of emotions, sparkling mischievously. Yes, she would capture the days, the fleeting moments. A tear of joy was shining on her eyelid. She smiled to herself for the first time after so many days and held those sketches close to her heart. Her dream was taking shape there forever. Thank you. I hope you like it. Please let me know.